Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. We want to thank our newest members.
Yes, huge thank you to Carlin and Christine. Thank you for helping us get this going. Thank you.
Absolutely, as the Patreon family is growing, and it's exciting and exclusives each week going on over there.
You know, and you guys, you're all helping us support the awakening. We could never do it alone. Your help is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, in the times when YT has left us cold, like the state of Florida, it's been you guys that have pulled us through. So this is from Erin Elizabeth, Health Nut News. As you can see, welcome to the state of Florida, the sunshine, balmy weather state. So much for global warming.
Yeah, then there's that.
And then climate change. What a phrase. The climate's always changing. It's always changing. Just look at the historical record. It's constant change. By the way, it's not just Florida. There's Galveston. You got snow-covered beaches in Texas to Florida. Let's look in the middle. This is Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans. It's a veritable blizzard out there. By the way, first time ever, blizzard warnings on the Gulf Coast. This is epic. Yes, I like that word, into thin air. It's very epic. As you see all the slush, 1.5 foot deep snowdrifts meeting the Gulf of Mexico, Cameron Parish, Louisiana. Nope. Now, a lot of us haven't seen anything like this before. As you see, the winter weather advisories and storm warnings all along the south there. Well, not if you're in Miami. Again, South Florida, even from Tampa lower, it's not getting this. Actually, the cold temps really are like pretty much everywhere but South Florida right now. Again, Al Gore said we would all be just up to our necks in water because of all the melting caps. It hasn't happened, but then again, if you're counting on Al Gore and if you're counting on, the think tanks out there like the few, again, we say that putting that up to a mirror and look in reverse, which, by the way, those guys, the Weefers, they're actually having meetings right now. It'd be wonderful if the world didn't have to care about any of their meetings.
Well, you know what Al Gore did do, though? You know what he did get right is he got plenty of
McDonald's
and money-lined pockets. He did great when it comes to making sure that he's financially secure.
Yes, he is. He's definitely done that. And meanwhile, the WHO has been terminated from its partnership with America. Now, the thing that you want to really understand, I was listening super carefully to his words. And he was talking about funding. And he was talking about China having 3 times or more, 3 to 4 times the people that we do. And them paying so much less than we pay. We pay many, many more times. So the part that I took from it was it's a matter of money. And if something was done with the money, there might be a chance, of going back into this. I would love to see us never join the WHO ever again. That's my personal take on it. As I really think the path to freedom in this world is really the one-by-one systematic, get your list wrote down, and then let's just check off one at a time all these organizations that we want to say goodbye to.
I would like to see that too. I mean, because it's so corrupt. I don't like to leave the window cracked open a little bit, just on the idea that, well, if the price is right. I don't like that. That does not feel good to me. No, absolutely. So what are we seeing? Does it feel and look like there's something positive going on? Well, the WHO is just, it's kind of like a jilted lover here, and they're sending love notes back. Do you remember? You helped to found this organization way back, in 1948. And, you're key. It's like we can't do it without you. It's like a love affair gone wrong. I just say, just take that little letter and burn it.
Lose the number. Don't go calling that number. Just like, that old song from the 80s. Yeah, you don't need to call that number anymore. We could just check this one off, keep it checked off. As you see, holy crap, President Trump officially withdraws from the Paris Climate Accords, saying saving over $1 trillion. Again, that sounds good too, just because, again, it's these organizations that ultimately, in my opinion, are really at the root, at the foundational level of all the problems that are going on. Really, what we need is, we need a change in management. We need a complete overhaul, or better yet, we need a brand new system. A brand new system. Will we take an overhaul for now, as long as things keep moving in a positive direction? After the last 4 years, I think everybody would, take about anything right now. So, hope. People need hope. People want to believe. They want to believe, but we don't want to get played again.
I think that's really important to take note. It's like we do want the hope. We do want to put our energy towards something, bringing momentum to something positive. That's what I feel we should be doing. But again, we keep hearing the right words, we keep reading the right things, but really, what direction is it going to go? I'm hoping we will get what we see that looks good, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and when we talk about people's investments and what they've invested in making money, again, a lot has been said about when you looked at inauguration. It's a who's who of the rich and famous across the world, and certainly across all the social media platforms. Obviously, I'm looking over here. You see what's highlighted here? Politics trending. Well, unfortunately, okay, that just changed now. Yeah, that M was right. There was a couple other letters there. Yeah, when you look at Vivek and you look at JD, look at their investments. I'll just leave it there. Look at their investments. I would want to see them divest themselves from certain things to really, or just simply divest yourselves of people that won't divest themselves of things that we know are not helping as much as they're hurting. And really, it's what's the true intention there behind all this. 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico beginning February 1st. That's what he says he has in mind. Canada is kind of in full panic mode. I thought he was going to say goodbye last week, wasn't he? He's still here. He's still here. Fidel's kid is still here in the Great White North. I thought it was really fascinating, too. Did you realize we call Canada the Great White North? But really, when you look at like Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver, they're actually farther south than most of the European capitals. It's, again, thanks to that Gulf Stream. And when I think of the Gulf Stream, if the Gulf Stream ever did shut down, Europe would really be under a deep freeze. As the AMOC has everything to do with keeping Europe livable, because it could quickly turn into a Greenland type of environment if it wasn't for that Gulf Stream. And I'm sorry about the tangent there. Just wanted to share that because there has been talk about that shutting down. And just thinking about that with the blizzard going on in the Gulf area, again, everything about this system is upside down and inside out. So if they're talking about global warming, again, a lot of people have thought maybe we should really be looking at the opposite as being more likely. So here you have Trudeau. If the president does choose to proceed with tariffs on Canada, then Canada's going to respond in kind. And you're going to have a trade war, and same thing with Mexico. And it does seem that he is intent on really renaming the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. It seems like there's going to be some confrontations. Don't forget Panama, because he had said we have to control Panama. Who's controlling Panama right now? It's China. So that can be also another point that could be very, very confrontational and could actually lead to conflict. Here you see the border is shut down. This is in El Paso. Well, again, I've watched this and seen scenarios like this in the past, and then seen people sneaking across the border 2 miles away because there's gaping holes in the wall. There's a lot of work to do. Now, are we hopeful? Yes. Do we want hope? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think anybody should ever have blind faith anymore. Blind faith it just leads to falling off cliffs. So hope, yes. Faith, no.
Yeah. I think we just need to watch and put our energy where it's appropriately needed.
And by the way, there was an illegal migrant crossed over into Vermont who killed a U.S. Border Patrol officer. There could be a lot of confrontations that go on with the deportations that are scheduled. Banning red dye, that's great. And over here, so, asking other states, maybe you want to think about removing the fluoride. That's great too. I mean, why don't we just mandate it and have all the fluoride removed from the water systems? Because ultimately, it is a neurotoxin after all. And so many other countries would not allow this, but it's been something that has been in place in the USA for far too long, in my humble opinion. I really heard and listened closely when Trump was talking about President McKinley, because the immediate thing that stood out when he was bringing up McKinley was the fact that he was assassinated. That's the first thing that stood out to me. He was the last president who served in the American Civil War, and he died in 1901. There's a couple other things too. In 1900, he secured the passage of the Gold Standard Act. Spanish-American War, I have, family members that actually fought in the Spanish-American War. And, again, the money system. Things like gold and silver, they always will have value. They always should have value because they literally have benefits to our health and the clarity of our thoughts. Because gold is something that can do wonders for our neural connections.
Yeah, our neural connections, they're the important ones because we are electrical beings. So anything that's going to help that electrical activity, it's going to benefit us. And so many people are exhausted and they don't even understand quite why they're exhausted because they might sleep all the time. But the problem is we're always putting energy out. And we don't take any time to call our energy back because we are very much like batteries. And the substances that we put in our bodies can charge our bodies.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, you have Macron calling for mobilization of youth into the French military. If I had to pick, one country that would be most likely to have its leader removed via a new revolution, I think it would be France. That would be probably up at the top of my list as far as, talking about NATO country. So, again, there's still some countries that are really going headstrong into a full WW number 3 because, again, when war happens, it just makes it so easy to bury things in rubble where people can't find them. Oh boy, Elon. Yeah, people were saying it was a NAZI salute that he gave off. Well, he wanted to correct and say, well, in reality, it was really a Roman salute. Or at least this person's trying to correct it. And then, of course, Elon's been showing Hillary in similar positions and Obama, you name it, all of them. Well, I think it's really, really interesting when you look at this, as we've shared, even though, there's been so many different political leaders and, empires rising and falling, there really has been one system in place. And this is what really gets us in trouble. And, it's the reality that this one system, it morphs, it changes, And it does have, at times, absolutely, it has some egoic leadership going after other egoic leadership, because this system is all about promoting the ego instead of the greater good of society. When you're looking at the Roman eagle and you look at the German eagle there of the NAZIs and RUS eagle, yeah, there's differences, but is it kind of curious that all three nations choose an eagle? Well, an eagle's a beautiful creature. It's free. It flies high. It doesn't really fear anything else that's flying. It is curious. I think it goes way back. And, we also see phoenixes, and we see double-headed eagles at times that were used. Yes, the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire as well. It goes way, way back. It goes back again to the Middle East as well. And whether we're looking for maybe a little symbolism of which the eagle is something that is coming after the original to be a little different, I think, on purpose, but still giving the same energy, so to speak. Whether we're looking at Sumeria, Akkadia, whether we're looking at ancient Persia even, and the Zoroastrian tradition, you'll see depictions of eagle feathers and that familiar bird shape with human occupants and what looks like ships. Again, warrior here. This is a warrior motif. This one right here, the sun god Ashur is what it says. It seems to be a symbol that we will find all over the ancient world. It's actually universal in origin. See these again. As you see, like a circle, it's got a human figure here. It definitely has the bird wings. We can also even see it. You can see the wings with, again, Isis in Egypt. Now, the thing to take again is that what they're trying to tell you is there's humanoid beings here that have the ability to get about in the air. This is part of the bigger reveal in what we have here. When you look to Exodus 3:14, and I like to look at different translations, and Elohim, which is in plural by the way, said to Moses, Ehe yeh asher ehe yeh. I am who I am is how it translates too. Again, I find it interesting too that when it says Asher, Ashur, because Ashur is another one of these deities, and they all look the same. I mean, they all look really pretty much the same. It's the same thing we see all the time. Here's an emblem of Ashur. And yeah, we see the same thing, not necessarily denoting Ashur in Persia, because again, you have Ahura, or also Asura Mazda, as the prime deity there, the head deity there again. So you have the god Ashur is a head god again in the Assyrian pantheon. And what we do find is often these gods supplant the ones that came before, and they take over the attributes as time goes on. Ahura Mazda, the head of the again Persian pantheon. Same beings. I mean, it's the same depiction. Don't you think? It's like, boy, you guys are all copycats. Why are you doing this? Well, is it just simply because they're saying that these are the same group of beings that they're talking about? Ahura, Asura, Ashur, and then the biblical Ea, Ashur, Ea, the Asuras are the bad guys in ancient Hinduism. They are the ones that we think of as demonic. They are the ones that, according to the Hindu legends, come to Earth, take over cities, and basically install themselves as the rulers, the god kings, and think to Rome. Rome, Caesar was viewed as a god king. It's the same tradition that we are watching before our very eyes today. It's just simply morphed. Instead of watching, gladiators fighting lions in the Colosseum, we watch them fight in the UFC with Dana White there and 47 right by his side with Zuckerberg and Elon in tow. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And again, when we look to Elon and his mom is very fashionable. She likes to make statements. Elon likes to dress up too. And they do all these same, hand signals. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to communicate here? She is a curious one. We did a whole video on her. It's a Patreon exclusive. We've done other videos on Elon, several of them. Patreon exclusives where we just say point blank what we feel and we don't have to kind of hide it. Again, that's something we do multiple times every week. Here you go. Is this somebody's egg in their fridge? This I think a lot of people felt was very, very disappointing. Another egg UFO photo. Come on, guys. You could do better. You want to give us disclosure? Do better than that. Do better than that. You could do a lot better. Like this guy, he's doing better. You ever see? I've taken a ride on one of these through the Everglades in Florida. They're a blast. Well, it turns out you could snowboard with them too.
Oh, I think that's a really good way to use your creativity and your energy in this weather. I think it's a lot of fun. Looks like he's having a really good time. So a really big day, a lot of things going on. I think people are going to be watching very closely to see if there's going to be sleight of hand or misuse or who knows. I think the abuse has been so bad for so many people when it comes to the power structure. Everyone's just sort of on edge and they're like, well, I like how this sounds, but, and there's always that but thing going on. But hopefully things will become solid and things will get better. Let's just put our energy into things where and visualize what we want to see, because we are co-creators, and that's the number one thing they want to keep away from us. They don't want us to realize how powerful our thoughts truly are.
Absolutely. Do you know that old saying about fool me once, fool me twice? Well, yeah, let's keep their feet to the fire as we put out our hope, but we'll never put blind faith in any of these beings that come out before us, whether they're human or humanoid or whatever they give them as when they introduce them to the public. Look forward to your comments. Thanks so much for your support. Like, share, subscribe. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.